Meri, Janelle, and Christine Brown, the sister wives OG3, are currently experiencing a variety of challenges as a result of their separation from their ex-husband, Cody Brown. Their individual lives are marked by significant differences. The 2010 premiere of Sister Wives on TLC showcased Cody's polygamous lifestyle, with his OG3 wives on the brink of the family adding a fourth wife, Robyn Brown. In the early 1990s, Cody married his first spouses, and the family collectively welcomed 13 children. Robyn brought 3 children from her previous marriage and went on to have 2 children with Cody when she was included. Over the years, it became evident that Cody had a preference for Robyn. Meri was even persuaded to legally divorce Cody in order for him to marry Robyn. Each of Cody's initial spouses separated from him as a result of his favoritism, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. Christine was the first to be appointed in 2021, followed by Janelle in 2022 and Meri in January 2023. Currently, Cody is in a monogamous relationship with Robyn and has no intention of acquiring another wife. The OG3 has begun new chapters, but not without perils, as the previously shared property at Coyote Pass was recently sold and the proceeds were divided. The separation between Meri and Cody was perhaps the most heartbreaking. It was evident that Cody and Meri had chemistry over the years. However, this chemistry diminished in tandem with Cody's desire to preserve a fair balance of interest between his spouses. Meri endured the most criticism, despite her perseverance. Toward the conclusion of their relationship, Cody appeared to be determined to inform Meri that he had never loved her, a notion that was deeply distressing to her. Nevertheless, Meri elected to pursue a spiritual divorce and exit the marriage on her own terms. Cody did assist Meri in vacating her residence, and they maintained a cordial rapport throughout the process. However, their separation was officially signified by the relocation, which elicited an emotional response from Cody. Meri moved into Lizzie's Heritage Inn, an Airbnb property she purchased to maintain it in her mother's family. However, she claimed that operating the Airbnb was never her aspiration. Meri ceased operations in order to execute the restorations on the 154-year-old residence. She obtained a $485,000 loan on the residence, which resulted in a total property value of $1.1 million. Meri is evidently deeply involved with the property, despite the fact that Lizzie's Heritage Inn is reportedly once again accepting reservations. Meri received $375,000 in the dissolution of the Coyote Pass property with Cody, which is beneficial to her emotionally and financially. Meri is currently in a relationship, but she has yet to achieve enduring success. In 2024, she was in a 4-month relationship with a man named Amos Andrews. However, the separation was precipitated by their disparate communication techniques, values, and aspirations. Janelle's business acumen was consistently revered by Cody, and she relished the absence of a full-time spouse during their marriage. However, Janelle, like the other OG wives, had grown weary of Cody's lack of accountability, favoritism, and the management of the family's finances as she was a working wife. Janelle's sole objective upon departing Cody was to obtain the $375,000 settlement she was entitled to for the Coyote Pass property. Janelle made the decision to relocate to North Carolina with her daughter, Maddie Brush, and Maddie's spouse and children after departing Cody. They are currently in the process of establishing Tata Farms on a vast, undeveloped property, despite encountering some obstacles. Their vision has been impeded by the property's confronting barriers with zoning, permitting, and surveying. Janelle acknowledged that she was in the process of constructing her residence in April 2024. However, her recent return to Flagstaff, Arizona, served to emphasize her current sentiments and nostalgia. Also in March 2024, Janelle and Cody lost their son, Garrison Brown, and she continues to mourn his passing, as does the rest of the family. Although Janelle has a plethora of aspirations for the North Carolina property, she may be overestimating her capabilities. She recovered her investment in Coyote Pass and more, but Tata Farms appears to be more trouble than it is worth. Janelle has yet to initiate a romantic relationship, and it is evident that she yearns for her former acquaintances and familiar locales. She is recognized as a resilient woman, and the years that follow her separation from Cody will put her independence to the test. Christine is the most distant ex-wife of Cody, and she and Janelle remain close. Christine is subjected to internet criticism for her public display of her relationship. However, her challenges and prospects appear to be negligible in comparison to those of Meri and Janelle. It has become evident that Cody, the patriarch of sister spouses, has harbored resentment toward his former spouses for their rejection. Cody has verbally assaulted his ex-wives in fury, primarily attributing their actions to his perceived abandonment and mistreatment. Nevertheless, Meri, Janelle, and Christine are all well on their way to achieving their objective of not engaging in any form of relationship with Cody, with the exception of discussing their children. Nevertheless, the dynamics between the OG3 and Cody will continue to be discussed as long as Sister Wives is broadcast. In the most recent episode of Sister Wives, Cody Brown expressed his dissatisfaction with his ex-wife's treatment of him, referring to him as a piece of trash due to the defensiveness of all parties involved. This behavior had a negative impact on his relationships with his former wives and their children. However, it is possible that Robyn Brown is the true cause of this discord. However, Robyn has Cody under her control. She is acutely aware of his requirements and is able to provide them with precision. She is the driving force behind the throne, desiring to have Cody exclusively. Cody experiences his greatest joy when he is in the presence of Robyn, as evidenced by the most recent episode. He appears to be more optimistic and youthful, as he appears to be in a state of relaxation. That is the influence of affection. When Cody and Robyn were constructing a cosmetics table for their daughter, Ariella Mae Brown, whom Cody describes as expressive and his mini-me, Robyn did not appreciate serving as his beautiful assistant, but Cody evidently relished her presence. Cody is almost a hopeless romantic as he places his wife on a pedestal. That is endearing, however, it grants Robyn an excessive amount of authority over him. He is genuinely gentle in her delicate hands. Cody is beginning to comprehend his role in the events of Sister Wives Season 19, and it is a pleasure to observe this level of maturity. It is actually unexpected to observe Cody assuming such a significant amount of responsibility for the issues with his ex-wives, which have had an impact on the children he shares with them. He is amenable to the fact that he reacted in the heat of the moment, asserting that he never adored those women when it was plainly untrue. He was not the sole individual who was expressing hostility. The majority of individuals exhibit negative behavior during divorce proceedings. The severance of a very profound tie is a rare occurrence, and it is accompanied by anguish, confusion, and fury. Peaceful divorce is an exception. It is admirable to be genuinely amicable, as evidenced by Gwyneth Paltrow's infamous conscious uncoupling. However, the friendly divorce is almost devoid of passion. Therefore, it is unsurprising that the majority of separations are characterized by a series of furious calls and texts, as well as a feeling of disbelief and devastation. This is simply the nature of the world. The aftermath is now upon him. Those are women who may disparage him in front of his own children, even if they deny doing so. He is aware that this could occur, which causes him to become paranoid. It is ineffective. Sadly, the mothers are spending an inordinate amount of time with those children. Perhaps their remarks are more significant because they are exerting effort to be present. Then there is Robyn, who is perpetually present and promotes a core family narrative that is both offensive and crude. This type of behavior only serves to perpetuate the negative emotions. The simmering resentment and fueled wrath will never subside as long as Robyn remains passive-aggressive. Certainly, she is a member of the primary family with her children. However, why is it necessary for her to distinguish between one group of children and another? Cody and Robyn maintain a comfortable environment, and their interactions with their children are consistent, healthy, and enjoyable. One another is cherished. Occasionally, it appears that Cody is more affectionate than usual. However, this is not an uncommon occurrence. Nevertheless, this type of imbalance can be hazardous. Robyn donned red attire for their Valentine's Day dinner. However, her eyes were not illuminated by an adoring glow until she received Cody's gifts, which included a pendant and earrings that, as Cody put it, showcased her favorite turquoise. He went out of his way, and she did not purchase him a gift. It is possible that this caused him harm. Possible debts: Robyn spent $70,000 on figurines. Estrangements with Gabriel and Peyton Brown and other Brown children, and ex-partners who are so distrustful that they threatened to file a lawsuit to prevent them from feeling cheated when Coyote Pass was sold. He is perpetually investing in Robyn, assuming that it will endure indefinitely. However, what if it does not? Cody did redistribute the Coyote Pass land prior to selling it, which may have been a concession to Janelle and Meri's demands. Perhaps he did so out of a sense of altruism. In the end, the amount of words spoken is irrelevant. Actions are more effective than a deluge of words. The $375,000 they have in their wallets is more significant than a compliment that may not even be accurate. Individuals' character is revealed through their actions, not their words. Robyn frequently has said one thing and done another. She expressed her affection for the entire family and her appreciation for polygamy, but she covertly desired monogamy. At Christmas, she separated Cody from his elder children, despite her portrayal of the compassionate stepmother. Meri was befriended by her, but she ultimately distanced herself from her after she departed Cody, breaching her commitment to visit her. Robyn's cognitive dissonance is palpable to her ex-partners and their children, as her words and actions are not always in harmony. In Sister Wives, Cody Brown is an exceptionally romantic individual. He is not so jaded that he does not regard his companion as a flawless princess. He remains profoundly infatuated with this woman. She obtains a primary family if she desires it. However, there is always a cost associated with it. If individuals do not contribute as much as they receive, the consequences of their actions can be detrimental. Cody appears to be making progress in his understanding of this, but Robyn may not have reached the same level of self-awareness. Robyn is his greatest obstacle in terms of his relationships with his children, regardless of his perception. The most effective course of action for him is to attempt to establish connections independently, without her involvement. He and Robyn are not always required to be a bundle product. His children are permitted to spend time with him. That she truly adores him will be demonstrated if she withdraws, allowing him to fortify those precious and lovely bonds before they are irreparably severed. That is what he truly requires: the autonomy to attempt to resolve issues without the typical level of interference. It is my sincere hope that his Sister Wives Queen will comprehend this. She recently celebrated a significant milestone in her life by demonstrating affection to her family members as Janelle Brown from Sister Wives. In 1993, she became the second wife of Cody Brown, and she became a member of the Brown family. The couple, who had been married for nearly 30 years and had 6 children together, experienced a decline in their relationship during the pandemic. Cody's pressure to relocate their sons resulted in the Sister Wives Season 17 star reaching her breaking point. Their relationship deteriorated after she declined his request. In due course, she resolved to terminate her spiritual union with Cody and relocated from Flagstaff to North Carolina. The Sister Wives actress recently celebrated a remarkable milestone in her life, her birthday. Janelle received a sentimental missive from her daughter-in-law, Michelle Petty, who is married to Logan Brown. The message was as follows: "Happy birthday, Janelle Brown 1117. I genuinely struck the mother-in-law sweepstakes." Michelle expressed her enthusiasm for engaging in conversations with Janelle about aliens, eclipses, fun restaurants, and new travel destinations. She admired Janelle's enthusiasm for life, which she described as contagious, and she valued her involvement in her children's lives. Michelle concluded her message by expressing her enthusiasm for the forthcoming year and the potential adventures it may bring. Janelle returned the affection, expressing, "I also feel fortunate. I love you." Janelle has encountered some difficulties in adapting to her new life, despite her immense joy at residing in close proximity to her daughter, Madison Brush, in North Carolina. Michelle may have desired to enhance her mother-in-law's sense of specialness by acknowledging Janelle's anxiety and unease in her new environment. She composed a sentimental letter that conveyed her affection for Janelle. She intended to reassure the Sister Wives cast member that she was not alone following the dissolution of her marriage to Cody, with a kind message. Their messages were indicative of Janelle's affectionate family, which consistently provides mutual encouragement. Janelle has recently undergone significant transformations, including the establishment of her new business, Tata Farms, and the relocation to North Carolina. She requires all available assistance during this period of transition. In the knowledge that she had the support she needed, Michelle's message inspired Janelle to confidently embark on the next chapter of her life. This message could also be perceived as a criticism of Cody, who does not have robust relationships with his offspring. Michelle may have been disparaging Cody, who appeared to prioritize his involvement with Robyn's children, by commending Janelle for her involvement in her children's lives. Janelle's optimistic perspective has enabled her to surmount obstacles and commemorate her 55th birthday with enthusiasm. She is demonstrating resilience in the face of turmoil and remains full of life, despite encountering setbacks. Janelle is committed to reclaiming her serenity and embracing new experiences, and she desires her admirers to witness her progress in life. She is demonstrating to her followers that she has matured as a result of her previous challenges and is dedicated to experiencing life to the utmost by commemorating this most recent milestone. The Sister Wives cast member is appreciative of the steadfast encouragement of her offspring and their spouses.